Who do you think's the greatest entrepreneur of all time?
Well, you can't say one because you go back to the Carnegies and the Vanderbilts and you know, you can't. You look at Bill Gates with his wonderful Microsoft. You look at Steve Jobs, the job he's done at Apple. You look at, you know, there's so many of them, and I don't think you can ever pick one. You can pick the top 100. You can pick different things. You have different industries. For instance, a Microsoft. You know, it's just of no interest to me. I like real estate. It would never be of interest to me. You have to love what you do. Bill Gates loves all of that. Steve Jobs loves all of that. A guy like me, I don't. I like other things.
Well, when you look at people who've done a lot with very little, who would you put up at the top of the list?
Well, you have to say Bill Gates, and I think recently Steve Jobs. I mean, everything he touches just turns to gold. I mean, the job he's done, where he was thrown out of Apple, it was run by somebody else. It went down the tubes. He then came back, and he took that to a level that nobody thought was possible. I mean, if you look at the job he's done, it's incredible. Where it's actually now capitalized, it's actually now more valuable than Microsoft. I heard that the other day for the first time. I had no idea that they were even close.
What direction do you think real estate's going to be moving in the next 3 to 5?
I think real estate will go up. I think you have different components to real estate. You have the New York stuff, which I'm mostly involved in, and other large things that I'm involved in. Then you have the housing market. I think the housing market will be slow for a while, but eventually it'll go through the roof. But I really believe real estate is now the time. I used to tell people 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I'd make speeches, don't invest, it's a bubble, don't invest. And I've had many letters of people saying, thank you, I went to a speech, you said don't invest, I didn't invest, and the market crashed. I would tell them. And I said, don't take these exploding mortgages. You know, you get this wonderful mortgage. Unfortunately, in 4 years, you lose your house. And I would lecture to people about that. I'd make speeches in front of thousands of people, and I'd tell them about that. And a lot of people appreciated what I say, but this is now the right time to go for real estate. I believe real estate's going to be going up. It may stay down for a while, but I don't think it'll be that long. And real estate, it's tangible. You can touch it. It's there.
It's your passion.
Well, it's my passion, but you can touch it. You know, you see some of these paper trades. I'm not knocking it. It's sort of like, when it works, it's certainly easy money. But when it doesn't work, it's pretty ugly. But I've always liked something I could see and touch.
Before a game, I was with Mark Cuban in his bunker. And your name came up because you were one of the people we were hoping we'd get an interview with, and he had mentioned that you guys don't always see eye to eye, that you'd had a little friction. And but he said you're amongst the people he respects the most. And I'm wondering, what do you think your similarities and differences are?
Well, Mark and I may be similar because we're both combative guys. I have a great respect for him. I think he's an amazing guy. He's, you know, somebody that knew when to sell. He made this incredible deal, and instead of like everyone else where they just stuck with it and they rode the stock down, I think he made the comment, anybody that would pay that much for a company, I don't want to be in that company, and he sold like very quickly thereafter. No, Mark is a terrific guy, great entrepreneur, and I want to see his basketball team win the whole thing because he deserves it. I mean, he's done an amazing job with the team, and I think he's done a great job with everything he does. But he's a controversial guy. He's a very competitive guy. But a lot of people don't like that. You know, they don't like controversy. They don't like a guy who's in your face and competitive. But Mark Cuban's an amazing guy.
What do you think the differences are between big business and small business? And what do you think the similarities are?
Well, I think businesses are very similar regardless. There aren't that many differences. A business is a business. Decisions are decisions. If it's a big business or a small business. But what I'd like to do is get your greatest business minds right now to the Gulf, because we're not going to have any ocean before. You know, I actually heard recently where this in September could be in Europe. Okay, you think that's going to win us lots of friends in Europe if the oil starts flowing over and destroying Europe also, like it's destroying this country? So business is business. I think that the head of British Petroleum probably should step down because it's been handled so badly. I don't know him. I don't like him or dislike him. I think that he should step down, and he should step down very soon. This is a total catastrophe.
What do you think the president should do?
I think the president should ask for the resignation of the head of British Petroleum, and I think the president should go out and ask ExxonMobil and other great companies to come in there and get that damn thing fixed.
Something I do have to ask you is what's it like to wake up and be Donald Trump? When you're shaving in the mirror and you're looking at yourself, you're an icon. What is that like?
Well, I'm honored by your question, but I don't really think about it that way. I mean, I wake up and I do shave and I do use a mirror and all of that stuff, but you know, I go to work, I'm in my office early, I leave late, I work hard, I employ a lot of people, lots of education, lots of everything I supply for people by giving them a check every week, lots of health care, frankly, and it makes me feel good. I know a lot of people where a couple of my employees, their wives have cancer and they're being well taken care of because they have a good program under the Trump Organization, and I'm happy about that. So I just feel I've done a really good job. I've created a lot of quality, and I've given a lot of people jobs.
Well, thank you, Donald.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff.
You're hired.
And you have a great magazine. Thank you. Thank you. Great job.
Yeah.